we're going to review some tips for interacting with someone who is blind or has vision loss. So, Linda, what's your number one tip for interacting with someone who's blind?
The absolute number one tip is if you think a person who is blind needs assistance, ask them first. Because they may not need any assistance. But if they do, let them tell you exactly what they need and how best to assist them.
That's a really good tip. So check first if they need assistance and then give the type of assistance that's requested. What about if I'm entering a room where the person who is blind is already seated?
The very best thing is to announce yourself when you come into the room and announce yourself when you leave the room. Otherwise, I might be sitting there having this long conversation with you and you're totally in another room. It can be quite embarrassing.
That's a really good tip. What about if I'm bringing you a cup of coffee? What would you recommend for that?
A couple of things. If you are going to hand me a cup of coffee, tell me that this is a hot cup of coffee. I'll put my hand out. You place the cup in my hand, and then I will say, I've got it. Then you let go, and I've got it, and then I have control of where I'm going to put it. Or you can tell me, this is a hot cup of coffee, and I'm putting it on the table to your right, and then take my hand and put it on the handle of the cup so I know when to pick it up and how.
Perfect. And what about if I think you're done with the coffee? Should I move it?
If you're going to move anything that a person who's blind has put down, they know where that was. So if you're going to move it, please tell them, I'm taking your coffee cup now, or I'm taking whatever the object is, and I'm going to put it here so that I know that when I'm looking all over for it, it's not going to be there. It's going to be someplace else.
That's a really good tip. I know one of the things that I always forget about is when I'm giving directions about where something is in the space, not using certain words. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I would love to. The main thing not to do is point and say, it's over there, or it's right here, because I will not know as a blind person where there and here are. You need to be very specific. For example, if I'm going to be sitting down at the dining room table to have dinner with you, tell me, Linda, the dining room table is 5 feet in front of you, and you can put your hand out and you'll feel the back of the chair.
Are there certain things that it's okay to say or not say, like, oh, Linda, it's good to see you?
I love it when people say it's good to see me. And it's okay if I say it's really good to see you too, because people who are blind use words like see, watching television, I saw a movie, I read a book. These are just common terms that people who are blind use.
Those are really good tips. Is there anything else?
No, there's probably a lot more that we could go through, but these are some of the main tips. If you can remember these few, you're going to be so much easier with yourself and with the person who's blind that you're working with, and they're going to be easier with you.